Good day from our Classic Rock Corner series. Stay tuned for a guitar tutorial on the chorus of Sweet Home Alabama. The chorus, I'm playing the hell out of this tune, okay? And we shall be right back and play it. 3, 4. Good day, Mike Violette, String Sound Studios, and how you doing out there today? Another sequence of Sweet Home Alabama, and in this video, we're going to concentrate about 5 things that's going to help you play the chorus of this, all right? And that would be hammers, pull-offs, root and fifth, to stretching to that root and sixth, intervals, okay, chords to single line notes, 16th note patterns. And some 16th note patterns with 3 notes, so kind of shifting an accent. And I'll talk a little bit about some effects I'm using, some of the things I'm doing here in OBS. And String Sound Studios, but I'm using OBS in my 2 notes, Capture X, and a little bit about some effects and how that works, so you can do this too. I don't want you to do it. I want to be the only one doing it. Capitalize a monopoly of multi-streaming. So, all right, hope it sounds good out there. Give me a thumbs up. Let me know what it sounds like, and anyone out there, and what you think of the live streaming. Don't be afraid to chat. Don't be afraid to tune in and say, if you are tuned in, say hi, or Mike can, ask me a question. Let's stick with Sweet Home Alabama on the chorus. I don't want to go too far out of that. It's not open night. Mic night. Yeah. Okay, we're going to get right into it. I'm going to zoom in. So, first things first. All right. Remember, we're coming to you from so many different platforms here. The main ones, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and a couple other ones, some more obscure things that are up and coming. So we're out on there on a whole bunch of different things. All right, let's get going. And hit that chat box if you want to ask me a question. Yeah, all right. Thanks, Kelly. That sounds good. Good. I really worked hard on the audio this week. All right, here we go. We're going to zoom in, and this is the chorus. So we're going to talk a lot about the chorus. All right. And I'm going to zoom in. Hopefully you can see the whole fretboard here. I think you can see that pretty good because I have to go up to a certain position. Now, when you start the chorus of the song, I'm going to take it back a little bit. We're coming from the verse, all right? You want it, you're still doing this. All right, I'll do it from here. Now, there's a little bit different lick before you go to the chorus, right? Because you've been doing this, and it's a little bit different from that intro lick, which is, but not much different. Little secret, you can't even use that, right? Well, let's say we're coming from the last part of the verse. So we have this. Okay, so we're going to go. All right, let's take a look at that. All right, so you got this. This is your verse. All right, C, 9 chord to the G. Now, right before the chorus, they do this. Play an open A, play a D, open G. So these two are open. So you can drag the pick there. What I mean by dragging the pick is just go adjacent string to adjacent string, all on a down. This is hammered. So we're talking about hammers and pull-offs, as I always do, right? Well, of course, when the song calls for that. When you do a hammer, remember, okay, get that sound out. One of the things I notice when people do hammers is this, they try to move on when the sound is weak. I need this to sound like this, or you need it to. Sometimes it's good to pick everything. So, before you do that hammer, pick the note. Play, pick, play, play. And you hear it, da, right? Da, 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 da. Get it quicker. Da, 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 da. Then do the hammer. Now a hammer is playing a note. It's from a lower note to a higher note. It's playing a note by using the fretting hand only. In this case, my left hand. That's my fretting hand. Because I fret lefty and I play righty. Remember, you don't play like this, of course. All right, but I do that so for purpose of illustration, so you can see it better, rather than looking way back down there, okay, by the pickups. All right. So I have this. Now remember the hammer. You hear that? That's a form of a slur. Lift a little bit higher if you're a beginner. Keep that finger arched. Use the analogy. I always use the analogy of a hammer. Well, hammering a nail in. Okay? I mean, look, if you never hammered a nail in, you get the concept. You can't push the hammer. You can't push the hammer. You gotta whack it a little bit. So, okay? For all you people that have never hammered a nail, never did construction. Now you got this. Here's your chorus riff. Now you got the pull off. Alright, so you play this. Open D, open G. Go back to this note here. Alright, on the 4th string. Play that and you're going to pull off. Now the pull off is the opposite of a hammer. Your pull off is playing from a higher note to a lower note. And very important when you pull off, I always talk about this, right? There's a way to pull off. And what I try to do when I pull off, right, is I try to play the finger more by the nail. See that? Oops. More there. Because you can play on various parts of your finger. You don't want to play it here. You don't want to play it here. Because then what happens, you end up bending it and you got all that rest of that finger to roll off of. We just want to roll off of it. See that? So I don't want to here, if I can avoid that. I want to play here, close to the nail. And then when you pull off, snap it down to the next string. I see people doing this. That gets a weak sound. And then you're getting too far away from the fretboard. We don't want to do this. Oh, some of you, people are interested in playing quick. Well, how do you do that? Well, if you're going to play quick, you got to stay low, all right, to the fretboard. Your fingers shouldn't be flying all over. You should have minimal movement. So be a minimalist with your movement when you're doing this. You play this, and there's your pull-up. So let me just play that first riff. I have this. Then you go back to the A, so it kind of ends the way it starts, right? We have this. Again. are 16th note patterns. So I thought I started my looper, sorry. Keep kicking that thing. All right, here we go. You have to get that so it starts moving. So practice like that. Now practice with me. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. And again. Sorry, I messed it up. Ready, go. Stop, give yourself a brief second, and go again. Ready, 1, B, 2 Mississippi. Again, 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. Practice it with a metronome. Remember, you have to practice these things in segments and connect them. So the next thing you want to do is you want to go back and go, okay, let me add the chord. All right, the D chord to the C chord, right? C chord. This comes after the G chord, that riff. And I would practice that. Just practice that nice and slow. Ready? 3 and 4 and. Stop, do it again. 3 and 4 and. Okay? Good. And after you get that riff, because remember, you should do the verse first, then the introduction, and then go to the chorus, then you start piecing everything together. Okay? That's the way I teach this when I teach it to my students. And that's the way, in my view, how you should learn it. The intro's more difficult than the verse. And he's got all those hot licks in there. Let's continue. Now what happens after that riff? Now we talked about, so we just did the hammers, the pull-offs. Now we're going to talk about a root and fifth to a root and sixth chord. You see this up here, right? I can zoom in a little bit more if you want. A little bit more. Hopefully you can see everything really good. So we're going to do this. We're going to do root and fifth to root and sixth. Right? And what I want you to do with your fingers, we can't be back like this. All right? We're on the fifth. We're in the fifth position. Okay? We start in the fifth position. This is a D5 chord. Right? Rock and roll, typical rock and roll thing. We won't talk about muting right now. Let's get it down. It's not really that muted anyway. All right? We can talk a little bit about that later, if you want, if you ask the question. Does he mute this? Now watch. This is important with your hand. You don't want to be like this. I see people do this. You're never going to be able to reach that. This is going to go from here to here. And you gotta practice all these exercises and things to get your fingers. See that? Now my focus, right, of my shoulder and my arm are closer to my body. They're closer to the side of my body. You don't want to be like this. You want to be like this. Pull it in. Pull your hand and your arm and everything in so it's like this. See the angle of the guitar? This way you're going to be able to reach that. So it's more this way. You don't have to be like this. Right? See that? Let me just zoom out a minute so you see what I'm talking about a little bit better. Let me zoom out. All right, here we go. See my arm? You don't want to be like this. I'm saying pull it in. Okay, when you go here, and my arm, everything's more straight down, more square to the fretboard. That's important than being like this. Sometimes you do have to be like this. Depends on what you're playing. That thumb, folks, that thumb pivots around. You're like this. You know, if you're playing a certain chord, like let's say a backward, a more forward shape, your thumb's kind of, it's facing that, right? And your hand's this way. If you're playing this, your thumb's more like that. So we go from this to this. All right, don't take that thumb, it should stay behind the neck for most part. But let's make sure my thumb can pivot and can go like this and can go like this in the back of the neck. Okay, and try to keep it down. We don't want to hold like this. That's important. We want, look at it. You can see the palm of my hand, right? All right. That's what you should see. You should see the back of my hand. You shouldn't be like this. Get that out there. All right, let me zoom back in. Let's do some of this. Hopefully all that's making sense to you. Here we go. We have this. Now you have your D5 chord. Right? We're going to do a rhythm like 1 and da 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 da. That type of da da. Strumming just these two strings. See, I'm strumming these two. Reach up. And this is in the 5th position. This is a G chord. D5, root and 5th. This is a D. That's my 5th from my D. And you're just going to strum those two chords. Alright, 5th position. Now, this is an inside chord. We call this inside. Then we're going to go back to 3rd position, do the same thing. Oh, it'll get a little bit more difficult on my hand, right? However, keep stretching. Pull this, keep this pulled in. There's your C chord. Alright, so again, from here. Then we move outside to a G chord. Hear that? Let's do it again from the D. Back to C, 3rd position. They're talking about positions. Well, what's 5th position? All right, 5th position is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Remember, count. If you have fret markers, most guitars do have them on their guitar. So this is 3, 5. Most of the times they're odd numbers, but people have all kinds of things today. Inlays on every fret. No, none at all. There's dots on the side. So this is 3rd. So count 3, 5. Don't go, oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Go right to 5th position. There's 3, there's 5, odd numbers, except for 12. That's even. And 24 if you have that. All right, so we have this. That was your outside. You're going to take this from here. 5th position again. Ready? 3, 4. One more time. Ready? 3, 4. Alright, so we mentioned chords to single lines and back. This next riff just does this. Alright, let's take a look. I think I played it wrong. We have this here. So we keep coming back to this type of riff. After the G chord on the 3rd beat, you're going to start with this. It's going to go open A, hammer to the B, open D, play, and pull off, and then a C. Oops. You might want to do that when you first move. Well, let's break it down a little more. So we have this from here, watch. Riff, open, D, E, pull it off to a C. See that? Open A to B again, open D, play the E, pull it off, C. Now, sometimes people feel more comfortable doing this. Watch. See what I did? Because you're playing the open D, alright, pull it off, you can go there. Why is that? It's important, but it can be for some people, because you're setting yourself up on that string with your first finger. You just moved it back to the G chord. Because it's going to do those same 3 chords inside. Inside, and then outside. So you're staying inside. Your first finger set up, you slide up to the D. Alright, so this is kind of a C chord in itself, right? that. Or, and then go. So that's up to you. One more time. Okay? Watch the riff. All right? Before we enter. Or, all right, so that whole part, I'm going to take it from the right before the chorus actually starts with the chords. Here we go, the D chord. Okay? That last part. Let me do it here. Right? Last part. He's singing, Southern man doesn't need him around anyhow. Talk about Neil Young, right? Inside. Back. Same thing. That leads us to, we're not going to go to the G chord, we're going to play a riff off your G. Alright? Now we did chords to single lines and back. So far we had hammers, pull-offs, and they're in everything. We did the root and fifth, root and sixth to the chords. We did some chords to single lines and back, right? Alright, now we're going to talk a minute about the 16th note pattern. Utilizing three of the same notes. So it's kind of shifting the accent where things are. Right? A lot of times when people do this, they start doing triplets. They start going like that cowboy thing. I guess you could say it's kind of cowboy in a sense. However, when you play this, it's this. It's the same three notes, but you start on the D, hammer to the E, play the open G, and it does that same pattern with the same hammer. However, you have to get the feel of the 16th notes, because the first time you play it, you start on a D, right? The one would be the D. The second time, it's the E. The third time, it's the G, and that's your pulse on your 1, your 2, your 3, and the 4. So it's D, the second time it's an E, the third time it's a G, and then we get back to the D. However, that's a little different. You play the same pattern. Again, there's my C. You have to do this. You do it like 8th notes instead of 16th. Just think in 8th notes rather than 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. Do it slow. Listen. Ready? I'll do it like 3 and 4 and. And then you go back to this. Again, you want to practice this slow and go 3 and 4 and. I like 2 there. Now they are 16th notes, so it's right? 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi. Slow, and instead of 1 Mississippi, just think 8th notes. I mean, you could do it like 1 E and the 2 like that. Just know that put the metronome on wherever I should use a metronome down here. Wherever your clicks are, it's here. Click. All right. on the E. So your accents, your 1, 2, 3, and 4 are 3, go, right? I like a 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi, 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi. Alright, that's slow. It's hard to do 16th notes really slow. Like 1 Mississippi. You can't do them that way. Just it's 4 against 1 with a pattern of 3. So this, this moves along. And to me, it gives a little push on that C. So let's take a look at that again, nice and slow. Ready, and. Again. Quicker. 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi. Then he goes back to the D. Back to that riff. Right? So, again, the last part is similar to the first part. There's one thing that we need to do right before the first solo. And I can show you that too. Well, let me take it from, my looper always starts from the beginning, so I wish I could have something where it started in the middle or wherever I wanted it to. I mean, I'm sure I can make something up on my, what is a band box, but that's okay. Now, I'm going to take it from the verse, we're going to play the whole thing, the last part of the verse, we're going to play the whole thing. Ready? Go. Watch. Watch. Right before that solo, and he comes in with that. And so forth and so on. I kind of know that solo. I should teach that. I need a little different guitar. Maybe I do that with the, you need to me, you need a little whammy bar there because he uses that. But I can show you the solo. I'm not going to do that today. There's another project for the solo. However, right, the last part of the chorus there, and before they go to that solo, they're doing this, right? F chord to a C chord. So we have this. What do I do? Sorry. Got Mike 3 T. It's live. That's what the. Alright? So we have that going on. Now, on the F chord, some people do with the F with the C and the bass, which is fine. It's the same thing. I'm just doing a full big F chord here. Alright? You could do this if you wish. Play the F chord like this with the C and the bass. That's really what they do, but it's not that major of a difference. Alright, so you have this as opposed to this. Whatever you're more comfortable with here. Well, I probably get some guy on YouTube, yeah, playing it right. Well, trying to keep it simple for you. Whatever works for you on this part. Alright, well, let's take a look at this chord. So, let's take a look at this. Capos can be harder, but if you're having trouble with this chord, alright, you do the capo. Or you're more familiar with the capo, you do the capo. Or you just do the capo and leave the play from the 5th string. How's that? Alright, so you do your capo and you just, instead of going like this, that's what I tell people. Well, if you don't want the F in there, just form it if you feel more comfortable with that shape rather than going like this, right? That's another way to do it. I'll just play it from here. It's the same thing, right? I'm just doing the capo and playing it from here to a C chord. Or put the 6th string in. And that's what they do. Then he goes right back to a D. That's where the solo starts. So we have this. I'll play from here. And slow. And then da 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 da. And there's your solo. Your solo comes in there. All right, so let's do. I'm not going to go through the whole looper again because that starts at the very beginning of the song. But let me play it from. Well, I hope Neil Young will remember that part, so you get the flavor of playing the a little bit of the verse. Ready? So we start from the D. Play riff. You're the rhythm guitarist, you play those chords, and your guys, your lead guitarist is doing the solo there, the little solo, or vice versa, or you go into the solo after that, right? That's for another day, and another time, in the future. It's a short little solo. It's good when you do these YouTube things, YouTube live streams, whatever. I am on YouTube to do shorter things, I think. You don't want, you're going to be sitting there all day. If you're like, oh, Mike, can you do this solo? Well, I'm going to be sitting there for 5 hours teaching your solo. Now, the thing to do is if it is a long solo, it's do it a few phrases, then a couple more phrases, all right? And that's what we need to do. We need to learn. All right, I believe I was thorough on that. I don't know. You'll tell me. You'll tell me, Mike, you did this wrong, you did that wrong. That's what I want you to do. Or you weren't happy with this part or that part. All right, or what you are happy with. Well, Mike, you're the greatest. Usually that's what people say. I'm kidding. All right, let me zoom out and I'll talk to you a minute about practicing. Whenever you practice a song, folks, you gotta listen to it. I tell you, you have to listen to it and listen to it and listen to it. Over that. You can go on YouTube, probably a Vimeo also. We can slow things down and you can listen to it on half speed. Or 3/4 speed. 1/4 speed gets a little crazy, but slow it down and listen. I want you to listen, when I'm playing here, I want you to listen to it too, not just watch. Okay? I know, look, and I'm not being that critical, maybe I am, of people on these, YouTube channels. They have things flashing all over, the little, the chord diagrams. I don't know if those are helpful. I'm here already doing this stuff and playing it, and I play here so you can see it better, all right, rather than watching down here, and then have tabs. Listen to it and watch, because that's how you're going to learn. And when you're watching it, just listen to what I say and close your eyes and play. Oh, you got to picture yourself playing this, right? All right, so practice that way. Take a look at our Play Like a Pro video courses. I have the Pure Beginning Guitar course, the Midway Blues Guitar course. Also a few others up there, not mandolin, a ukulele course, right? Pure Beginning Blues course, a Midway Blues course. So those three, $30 are a lifetime download. And check those out. Okay, if you're just getting started or you're kind of an intermediate. They come with scores, they come with backing tracks, they come with so many different things. So trying to get that going. Hey, who's that? Hey, Rebecca Thornton. I know Rebecca Thornton. Do I? All right, so what's the whatever tech? I'll have to take a look at that later. Make sure if it's something we want to take a look at. Rebecca, what's going on? Are you into music? Or are you just putting some up there? You want us to take a look at it? All right. We'll take a look at that later. Play Like a Pro video courses. Send me feedback through String Sound Studios. Oh, by the way, I wanted to be on Instagram tonight, but I was having a heck of a time getting on there, and I haven't done it the last 2 times. So I'm going to try to get back on there next time, figure out what's going on with the Instagram. And so I apologize for that. If you watch Instagram, these are on Instagram. We'll put them up later, but I want to do it live on Instagram. So you can see it there as well. But the best place to watch it is, Vimeo, YouTube, Facebook. And I hope it, sounded well tonight and everything went good. And we shall see you soon. Today is December 17th, 2021. So we are going into the holiday season. I doubt I'll be doing one next week. I may just come on and say Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, and we can talk a little bit. I don't know if I want to prepare something. Maybe I will. I don't think I'll do anything the 24th, obviously not Christmas. So I might do something the following week. I might do a few. I'll be around during that, after that Christmas day and so forth and so on. I'll be around later in the week doing a live stream. So have a great Christmas, whatever you celebrate, great holiday season, Happy New Year if we don't see you, and we will see you in 2022 if I don't do anything else in 2021. All right? And remember, we want to keep doing like this, folks. Have a good day.